The ocean takes top billing in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, stepping up from its enjoyable cameo in Assassin's Creed 3 to become an integral part of the latest in the series. But what will the ocean have in store for Edward Kenway, the dastardly pirate and main character in Black Flag? What will you get to do in this very wet playground? We recently visited Ubisoft Studios down in Singapore to find out a little bit more about Kenway's life aquatic. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag takes place in the seas of the Caribbean in the early 18th century, right in the middle of the golden age of piracy and almost 40 years before the adventures of Connor in Assassin's Creed 3. As pirate captain Edward Kenway, you'll get to sail all around the islands of the Caribbean, seamlessly moving from land to ocean and back in Black Flag's large open world. The ocean, which played a small but important part in last year's Assassin's Creed, is now center stage. So why did Ubisoft decide to take the usually land-based Assassin's Order and Templar battle to the waves?
If you talk with any sailor, he will have a story to tell about the sea. He will have a story to tell about the ocean. We want to give this feeling to the player. We want the player to remember at any time his journey when he's sailing in the Caribbean. We want him to remember the beauty of the Caribbean. We want him to remember that when there is a storm, there is a danger, that you can lose crew there, that it's very impressive, that you can have extremely high waves, that you can have lightning everywhere and a very intense emotion when you're sailing towards a storm.
But it's not just the weather that makes the ocean difficult. As Ubisoft showed during E3, you'll get to partake in epic sea battles in Black Flag, steering your ship, the Jackdaw, against British and Spanish fleets, as well as other pirates. There'll be more than 30 different types of ships in Black Flag, broken up into 5 different classes, starting with the speedy gunboat to the massive cannon-laden Spanish man-of-wars. And in true Assassin's Creed style, there will also be plenty of side missions in Black Flag, many of which will take place on the seas. You'll be able to find hidden caves by sailing around the Caribbean, for example, which contain special rewards for those who spend the time to discover them. Taking over forts is back in a big way in Black Flag. There will be 11 different ports scattered throughout the world. Defeat one and your band of pirates will take over, making it a friendly place for you to dock while also attacking any of your enemies foolish enough to sail close by. The demo Ubisoft showed during our studio visit was visually impressive. Attacks would start from the sea, with your ship's cannons bombarding the fort. Walls would shatter from the blast, towers would collapse, and best of all, once you weaken the fort's defenses, you could jump from your ship at any time, swim to the shore, and fight guards amongst all of the rubble and destruction you just caused. But there's even more open world activities to be had out in the open ocean, and the 2 new ones Ubisoft unveiled involves taking on sharks, harpooning, and exploring dive sites.
We put Edward on small harpooning boats and facing him with this dangerous beast. And so that basically the goal is to have an epic fight between the man and the beast in the world. Harpooning is a part of the world, of the overall system. We really wanted to have all the activities tied up together with the economy. So basically there will be a crafting system in the game, which is going to be very similar to the one you found in Far Cry 3. Really inspired us here. So basically you will be able to, once you harpoon an animal, take the skin and craft some upgrade for your character of that skin. We will have different type of sharks and different type of whales, but we will reveal more details in the coming month.
As well as fighting great whites from the relative safety of a very small boat, Black Flag will let you go under the water and interact with them in their natural environment. And down there, Edward is the hunted, not the hunter. Down there, every animal you encounter is a threat. You'll not only have to avoid sharks, but you'll have to maneuver around stinging jellyfish and sharp urchins. While water is not our natural habitat, Edward still retains some of his acrobatic flair while underwater. Black Flag will feature a mechanic dubbed Free Swimming by Ubisoft, which aims to recreate some of Edward's above-ground parkour moves in water. There will be different elements on Rex and on the sea floor that will allow Edward to move quickly, dash away, and even hide from enemies.
Sharks are the ultimate threat underwater. They are deadly, and as Edward underwater, you cannot kill them. So they are very more powerful than you are. So really the goal is to exploit the stealth and to exploit your environment to avoid the shark as much as possible. As above ground, you will have some stalking zone, some very thick kelps, patch of kelps, or you can try to break the line of sight, or hide in some wrecks, basically. So really you have to look around you and find the spots where you can hide.
What we saw of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag during our Singapore studio visit was on next generation consoles, and it did look very sharp. But the game is also coming out on current gen platforms. So what differences should you expect between current and next gen? According to Ubisoft, it's all in the details.
In terms of experience and gameplay, it will be the same. So the player on the current gen will have a full gameplay experience of the Assassin's Creed. In terms of realization and beauty of a game, of course, the next gen will bring us a lot of things.
Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag will make a splash on current gen consoles this October, with a release date for next gen consoles still to be confirmed.